Hello, everyone. My name is Matt, and I'm a private tutor. And today I want to talk about the Ames test because it's a really important test. And honestly, it should take about 3 to 4 minutes until you get a really strong grasp of it. So this is Dr. Bruce Ames. He was the creator of this test, and he basically wanted to see how mutagenic or how carcinogenic certain chemicals were. And he did this by setting up this very simple experiment. Basically, he has a culture of genetically mutated salmonella. This salmonella has a point mutation in its histidine creating gene. That means that this salmonella cannot produce histidine. This is a very important a very important amino acid needed for the salmonella to survive. Salmonella can get this histidine one of two ways. Either it can produce it on its own. This salmonella cannot because it's His minus, or it can get it from the medium it's eating. And here we're culturing the salmonella in medium lacking histidine. So it's salmonella that cannot produce histidine because there's a point mutation in the gene, and it's growing on medium lacking histidine. Thus, it should, in theory, die, and there should be no colonies after. However, we want to see how mutagenic what we're adding is. So here I have my acne cream, right? And the active ingredient is benzoyl peroxide. And say I was scared about how mutagenic this benzoyl peroxide is. I might set up this experiment to see what the effect of this chemical will be on this salmonella. So on my experimental setup, I have my culture of His minus salmonella, and I add my benzoyl peroxide, my suspected mutagen. And then I also add grinded up rat liver extract. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, but then I put this culture on a Petri dish lacking histidine. If there were no further mutations, then my His minus salmonella in a medium lacking histidine should die, and there should be no cultures growing. However, if I do see colonies of reverted His positive salmonella, that basically means that this mutagen was mutagenic enough to cause this point mutation, preventing histidine from being made, to revert that mutation with another mutation and allow the histidine to, and allow this salmonella to produce histidine. And so if my chemical, or my benzoyl peroxide in this case, is very mutagenic, then we would see colonies on the His negative media, because this point mutation causing this His minus has now been reverted or remutated by my benzoyl peroxide. And the control for this is you do everything in the experiment, but you do not add your benzoyl peroxide. You do not add your suspected mutagen. Thus, if there's no mutation and you're on His, and you're culturing His minus salmonella on medium lacking histidine, you're going to see no growth because all this salmonella will die. And thus, if you do see growth here, then you conclude that the mutation causing this may not be due to my benzoyl peroxide. Maybe it's due to something else in my experiment. So that is a negative control seen on the right. Basically, and now here, why do we add the liver extract? The liver extract is because I don't just want to look at the mutagenicity or how carcinogenic my benzoyl peroxide is. I also want to see how mutagenic the metabolites of this are, right? So if I put this on my skin and there's enzymes on my skin breaking this benzoyl peroxide down into smaller chemicals, I also want to see how mutagenic those smaller chemicals are too, because I'm still putting them on my face. So this rat liver extract is packed full of enzymes that are really good at breaking down chemicals. In this case, it'll break down my benzoyl peroxide. And thus, you'll also have those chemicals in this colony, and you're also seeing how mutagenic those metabolites are as well. So yeah, that's how you determine just how mutagenic a certain chemical is. And you can count exactly how many colonies you make. And you can put that on a scale of other chemicals and kind of see how mutagenic my benzoyl peroxide is comparatively to other chemicals there are. And yeah, that's the Ames test. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. And I would love to do more of these videos because I really enjoy making them.